If you do these 6 things in your Etsy shop every single day, you are going to make more sales because it will lead to you making better designs and understanding your competition on Etsy, which will help you compete on the Etsy marketplace. And you're going to be able to turn yourself into a lean, mean listing machine, even if you don't have a ton of time to work in your Etsy shop. The best part is it will not take long for you to start seeing improvements after you start making these 6 things a daily habit. So let's jump into it right now and get started with that first thing. And you'll want to stick around all the way till number 6 because the 6th one is really going to help us accelerate our progress and help us really kick it out of the ballpark with our results. First thing we want to do, number 1, is to search through the Etsy homepage for our product for 5 to 10 minutes every single day. This is so simple, and I literally have done this nearly every single day for the last 3 years since I started my shop. Here on my channel, Simply Shawna, we talk a lot about t-shirts, so we're going to use t-shirts as the example for what we'll search up today. I tend to work a lot in niches where I'm making t-shirts that women are going to wear, so I'm going to actually search up in the search bar t-shirts for women. You could go even a little more broad if you want and just put shirts, but the key here is to stay pretty broad. You're going to want to make sure you filter by bestseller. So I'm showing you here how to do that. The top left, I filtered by star seller, and then I can replace the word star with best. And now I'm going to get a lot of the best sellers pulling right to the front for me. And I can see there's going to be every other row ads. I'm going to ignore those. And you can see this row has little bestseller badges on it. And we've got another row here with more bestseller badges on it. And I'm just going to take note of what I'm seeing. What I'm about to say next, you might want to grab a pad of paper and a pencil and jot these things down that you're really going to be taking note of and looking for. But I do promise you it becomes second nature and you won't have to look at this list anymore. You'll just start observing these things and you'll be making mental notes of them. While doing this, what you're really looking at, and you can make a list and jot them down while you're looking at them, you want to see what kinds of niches are popping up for your product. You on this very first page, you want to see the kinds of designs that people are creating that are getting all these bestsellers on them. Look at the elements that are being used within the designs over and over again. You want to look at the types of fonts that are being used. What kinds of color palettes are being used? Are they earthy colors? Are they bright colors? You should even be taking note of the actual mock-ups that are being used, because when you are buying your own mock-up photos, those little pictures of shirts for you to superimpose your design on top of, great idea to be looking for mock-ups that are performing well for other people. I even like to pay attention to the top part of the title that's visible just under the listing photo there in search results, as it's the most impactful part of the title, and it helps give us a quick idea of what types of niches and phrases sellers are using that are getting great results. You will know which listings are performing the very best because of the bestseller badge that you could see right at the left corner, upper corner there. When you click into one of these bestsellers, you could see if it has 20 in the cart, or if you see these little red words up here at the top right that says maybe 2 times in the last 24 hours, sold 2 times in the last 24 hours. You might want to take screenshots of things you're seeing that are standing out to you, and maybe just make a little file in your phone, a little album in your phone where you throw this research so that when you're designing, you have a spot to kind of go back and browse these things that you have noticed. The second thing on our list is only going to take us 5 to 10 minutes also, and that is to go back into that search bar. And now we're not only going to put our product in the search, we're going to put a niche that we're working on plus the product. I have a general store, which means I have many niches in my shop. But certain niches I focus on more heavily. And I do that for a couple of reasons. Either I have a particular interest in that niche, so I want to build it out in my shop, or I started to gain some traction. I got some views and I got some sales, and so I doubled down on that niche and consistently started listing more in it because of the traction I was getting with it. I sometimes go after niches that I noticed from this first step we just talked about, where I'm putting my product in the search bar and I'm noticing certain niches popping up a lot. So then I might consider making designs in some of those niches, since I can see they're in high demand. Lots of people are getting bestsellers on them. And then other niches I've gone after is because I'm personally interested in that niche. And if I know it has good search volume, then I might really aggressively go after that and intentionally make designs in that niche over time. So one of those is the teacher niche. I'm a former fourth grade teacher. Side note here, I'm a full-time Etsy seller now, but I only quit my fourth grade teaching job about 1.5 years ago. And that was about 1.5 years after I started my Etsy shop. I had gained so much momentum in my Etsy shop by consistently listing and doing the things that we're talking about on the list today every single day, that I'd gotten myself to a place where I was out earning my teaching income through my Etsy shop. And I realized at some point during that time that I could get much more profitable if I went full time into my Etsy shop and spent all of my time working on that. So last year, not only did I out earn my teaching job as a teacher in Florida, I was making around $50,000 a year after teaching for 18 years. But my third full year on Etsy, I was able to make over $160,000 profit in my shop. So I tripled my income by being a full-time Etsy seller. So just to keep you motivated, the fact that you can scale your shop to a point where you are earning so much that you are no longer trading your time for money, which was hard for me to wrap my mind around when I was a teacher, because all I knew how to do was trade my time for money. But that's the magic of this type of business, this online e-commerce, that you can put really hard work into motion that later becomes recurring. People keep making purchases from listings that you've put out in the past, and you are no longer really trading your time for money. Instead, you've built something that is scaling and making you more and more money for time you've already spent. Sorry, I know I kind of went on a tangent there. The point was that I was starting to make was I wanted to make teacher shirts because I wanted to wear all of those fun teacher shirts to school. So let's use that in our next example. We're going to go back to the search bar and we're going to type teacher, our niche, plus our product, shirt. So we're going to put teacher shirts. Of course, we'll filter by bestseller again because we really only want to be looking at highly performing listings. We're just going to look through search results again, and we're going to take note of all the same things we did last time. We're going to be looking at design elements, fonts, color palettes, mock-ups that are being used in this niche, and that can change from niche to niche. And this time, we're also going to take note of popular phrases within that niche. These bestsellers are bestsellers because the market has spoken, and the market is yelling, hey, we like this stuff. The market is the customers. They're yelling, hey, we like this stuff. Give us lots of options with these elements infused in, and we're going to buy them. So do be sure to check uspto.gov to make sure you don't use a trademarked phrase that you're seeing repeated on, in designs that you're noticing on search results. And also just a reminder, be sure not to be studying low performing listings. We're only studying high performing listings here. That's why we're always filtering by bestsellers. Be sure not to copy anyone's designs, but to add new and valuable designs based on this research that you're making. If you are looking for help with how to do that, I am diligently creating a video each and every month on that topic specifically, how to add value to the market. I know that that's one of the things I struggled with the most as I learned, but made the biggest difference in my shop as I started to get it right. I will leave the playlist down to those videos in the description so that if you want more info on that, you can go down and watch that playlist. As a matter of fact, if this is something you need to watch content and develop your skills on, take a second now to go subscribe if you haven't already to the channel so you're sure not to miss the next one that's released. And write me in the comments down below, show me the money. Because learning how to add new value to the market with designs that are based on market research, that is exactly how you're going to do just that. Doing steps 1 and 2 that we just chatted about, those 2 searches, every single day, looking through those types of search results is going to help you make better designs. I promise you it will. It's going to put you onto great niches that you didn't think about designing in. It is going to help you understand the customers on Etsy better and what types of designs they like. Looking at both the broad term of just your product like t-shirts and then looking at the more specific niches like teacher shirts or nurse shirts or soccer mom shirts will help with all those things. Plus, you can use ideas you see from one niche and be the first to try it out in another niche, because of that broad search you're doing, you're going to be exposed to a lot of different niches. And this is a great way to add value to the market, and it's based on research. Doing these two things every day, these two searches, will really help keep your finger on the pulse of what people are responding to right now on Etsy. And before we jump into number 3, I will quickly mention, since we were just talking about the teacher niche, I did build out a resource. I will leave that linked down below, specifically for helping you to build out the teacher niche. What kinds of designs would be selling best at different times throughout the year. And I also built out a general niche resource if you're struggling with which niches you should be working on and when you should be focusing on them. With this business, it's really true. If you fail to plan, then you are planning to fail. You really need to either create your own resource or purchase something that someone else has created, because that is going to be the biggest bang for your buck in helping you stay on track. I'll leave those links down below. All right, so number 3, it does not have to be every single day. You can get more insight for any niche you're researching by using Everbee. And I'm going to use the free version here first. You can accomplish this with the free version. So I'm just going to go in, I'm going to put teacher shirts, I'm going to filter by bestseller. So I put star, I'm going to put best. And then over to the left, I'm going to go product analysis. And then I'm going to search entire database. Instead of just those 70 shirts, I'm going to do the entire database. So now I've got more of the creamiest of the crop here at the top. You're going to see a lot of columns here are locked, but that's okay because we're using the free version. We could still do this. I can go over and usually like to use the total sales when I'm using the paid version, but we can use the reviews. And I'm going to reorganize the reviews by clicking the little arrow up here. And I'm going to bring the ones with the most reviews to the top. So this top one here has 1,531 reviews. The listing age is 11 months. That's spectacular. That means that it's going to have a lot of sales because only a small percentage of people actually leave a review. So now I have an amazing list of just listings that are super duper top performers. And I can go through now and make my own version of each of these top performing listings. I might, make 5 or 10 of my own versions of each of these listings. And just to give you a real quick look at what it looks like when you're using the paid version, all of these columns are now unlocked. I can see the monthly revenue. I can also see the total sales, and I can see the monthly sales over there on the left. So this is all really good data. I actually like to filter by these columns since I do have the paid version, but filtering by the reviews and pulling that up to the top is also super effective. The reason this is so powerful is because instead of just that search, those 2 searches we did at the beginning, where we were looking through all these search results of the bestsellers, we actually see data here where we were able to pull the creamiest of the crop right to the top. We're not looking at something that sold 50 times quickly and now it's got a bestseller badge on it. We're looking at something that has sold thousands of times, and this is a really good performing, these are really, really good performing listings. So we know we're looking at the best of the bestsellers right there at the very top. And studying stuff like that, again, we're doing this every day, right? Those first 2 searches we're doing every day. Maybe we do this 2 or 3 times a week. This is really going to get in our head. We are going to see over and over again the things that the market is screaming, hey, we can't get enough of this stuff. We love this stuff. And when you're looking at this every day, you're going to start coming up with different ways to kind of infuse that, and you're going to be more aware of it. It's going to be at the top of mind for you, and you're going to find ways to incorporate these color schemes, these graphics, these types of phrases, or phrases that accomplish the same sentiment. It's going to get in your head, and you're going to make better designs. We're going to focus on the third one down on this list. It's got over 1,300 reviews, so that means it's got many, many more sales than that. We are going to make our own version of this. And this is how I've often tackled listing days. I'm looking at this list and I'm going to choose some of the designs at the very top to make my own versions of. I will leave a link to Everbee down in the description if you want to check them out. You could just go and get the free version of that and check that out. And then if you love it, then you could decide whether or not you would want the paid version. So again, I think you get 10 free searches if you want to try that out first. But this, I often talk about how I use it to get some extra SEO tags, title and your tags are how customers find you. I often use Everbee to find out what someone's tags are so that I can take that research with me when I'm putting together my SEO, my title and my tags. But this is another way that I use it. So again, let's get back to how I exactly would execute this. You can work right down the list that you've got here with Everbee that's giving you the creamiest of the crop. We are going to start with that third one there. And I'm going to show you what my own original versions would look like. So you have an example of what you should really kind of be shooting for here and what you should not be trying to do here. For the record, my own unique versions will not look like these. 99% of people will simply make something that looks super duper similar to everything else that's already on the Etsy marketplace. And if you use this strategy, I promise you, as a new seller, you will be absolutely invisible on Etsy and you will stay that way. You have to learn how to add value to the market. I did throw 5 examples together of what my unique versions might look like. Now, from heading into Etsy every single day for 10 to 20 minutes, like we talked about in our first 2 daily habits, and doing those searches we just chatted about, and I know from that themes like dinosaurs, themes like birds, zoo animals, all of those can do really well in the teacher niche. And since these animals grow to be different sizes, I can use them instead of plants for the same bestseller phrase, we all grow at different rates. I noticed that this aesthetic does really well on Etsy. And I noticed that from the broad search that I do every day with just women's t-shirts. We all grow at different rates with the flowers blooming out the top. Maybe I try it up like this. Because I know other themes do really well and a lot of the title and the tags, this was aimed at teachers, and birds also do well. And I know that from going in and searching up my niche teacher, plus the word shirt, my product, I know birds do well. So I might try it like this. We all grow at different rates. I got these little graphics from Creative Fabrica. I will leave the links to a link to Creative Fabrica itself if you want to try it. You get 10 free downloads for free with that link. And I'll also leave the links to the actual graphics in case you are thinking, man, I'd love to use that graphic. We all grow at different rates here with the silhouettes of the zoo animals. Of course, you could go colorful with the zoo animals. I chose to go just with the zoo animals on this one, the silhouettes. Here I use the font with dinosaurs instead. We all grow at different rates. Might be popular with science teachers also. And then we all swim at our own pace. So here I was trying up one that would be kind of, a different phrase, but aimed at, that got the same sentiment. I've done well with trying that out a number of times. Number 4, and this might arguably be the most important one on this list. At the beginning of every week, you want to write down one skill you are trying to improve over the course of that week. Every day, you want to make sure you're watching at least one video about that skill that you're trying to develop. For example, if you know you need to get better at understanding how to add value to the market with your designs, then you need to make sure that you're watching at least 7 videos that week about how to stand out on Etsy by adding value through your designs. I do have a playlist for you on that one. I will leave it linked down below if this is a skill that you want to work out, or if you know you need to work on doing market research. Then I've got you covered there too. I'll also leave the link to my playlist down in the description for that one as well. And of course, you don't have to watch one of my videos. There's tons of videos that you could watch on all of these different skills. But the point here is that we want to make sure we're watching a video that's going to further deepen our knowledge of that skill. This could be a tutorial video where you're being shown step by step how to do something, or it could be a concept video that's more about the overall understanding the foundation of that skill. What is important here is that this is crucial for improving the skill sets as they relate to you selling on Etsy. And don't worry, you don't have to change that skill every single week. You could keep working on the same skill the following week, or maybe for a few weeks. The idea here is that you are learning every single day, so that you can level up in the skills that you need to in order to build success in your Etsy shop. And of course, as part of that time you spend doing this, you want to make sure that you're also practicing and applying the things that you're learning and watching videos about. Number 5, but real quick, if you are hearing hammering or sawing, I'm not sure what the mic is picking up. I do have a project happening in the backyard, so hopefully that's not too distracting if you are hearing any of that. Number 5, you want to spend just a few minutes looking around your Etsy stats, even if you don't fully understand them. Over time, you will understand them better, and they help you keep a finger on the pulse of what's actually happening in your own shop, what's working, what's not working. Be sure your stats are toggled on your listing page. It's going to pop up some extra information there for you. You could take a look to see what is getting the most views. And then you know to double down there. So a way to do that is to make more designs in those niches that are getting more views. If you happen to be A/B testing anything, and I'll leave videos, I'm not going to go into A/B testing in this video, but I will leave a link down below if you would like more information on that. I've done some really in-depth videos about how I A/B tested my shop and what it's taught me. But that just means where you're testing two things. If you're A/B testing anything, go check in to see if one of the listings is performing better than the other one. If so, try doing more of that thing. So if a certain mockup is performing better, or a block of SEO, that title and that tags, or maybe a pricing strategy, if you're testing out two pricing strategies, start using those stats to help you make future decisions in your shop and doing more of those things. You can also go into your marketing tab and then hit search analytics. Here you can get more info about how many impressions you are being given for certain search terms and the average position of your listings when appearing in search. If you hover over the different titles of the analytics, it will tell you a little bit more about what that is. I don't look at this one daily, but I do like to pop in there from time to time. Looking in on your analytics regularly will help you understand a part of Etsy that honestly most sellers are kind of intimidated by. But once you learn how to use the information you're looking at to fuel your future decisions that you're making in your shop, such as which niches to double down on, then that can really be a game changer for your growth on Etsy. Number 6, you want to make sure you make something every single day. Now hold on, hear me out here. I know not everybody has hours to spend designing every single day, but the goal here is just to get more comfortable with your design app. That way you can train your brain to move much more quickly through the process. And the days that you have allotted and set aside for designing, you're going to get a lot more done on those days. By opening that design app every day and doing just a little something, you will get much more fluid with that process. It is kind of like muscle memory, and if you go in there every day, even just for a few minutes, you are going to feel less and less clunky with using the different tools within your design app, so your designs can really start to improve, and it will be less frustrating and less time consuming on those days that you're really in it to win it and you're designing. When doing something every single day, it is a lot easier to pick up where you left off, instead of relearning all the things we forgot since the last time we were working on it. If you keep these 6 daily habits in mind, you will improve over time, as long as you do not make the 12th mistake from this list in this video. Watch this one next, but not until after that tip from Tucker. Tucker, take it away.